What's guys, the Red Cloak here. Today is my chapter review for Black Clover chapter 310. But before we begin this chapter review, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, hit the bell notification so stay notified whenever I upload. Now, I gotta say this chapter was very fantastic, and I do like the dichotomy between YUNO and ZENON. But without further delay, let's get into the chapter review of Black Clover, the consistency of being right and wrong. The chapter starts off pretty nicely with some nice choreography of Zenon's bones going everywhere, and YUNO is trying to evade and dodge with his star magic. Now, if you didn't see last chapter, well, to catch you up to speed, star magic is basically like flying Raijin. Wherever the stars are, YUNO can teleport. I find this pretty hilarious because now Longris, well, mostly Finral, kind of seems useless now since YUNO now has stars which can teleport him himself. And Finral, damn, Finral has been just catching L's this arc, and I kind of feel bad. Now, YUNO's trying to pull off all the stops to defeat Zenon, actually cutting him in half with a whip-like spell. And I just gotta say, I just think that Zenon's, devil body is just taking so much punishment and damage. I think it's kind of fragile, but at the same time, he's a devil, and anything that can't pierce the devil's heart just makes him kind of broken. So why would Zenon need to defend? Because, he had to kill him to take out this devil's heart. Zenon then makes his own sword, which combines spatial and bone magic and does magical extinction. And this sword right here is basically rupturing and extincting all the magic that's around the area. It's basically like spatial domination, but on drugs. YUNO then says to himself that it's impossible to defend against this, and Zenon is actually destroying the star so YUNO cannot teleport anymore. Because again, Zenon will not win this fight if YUNO continues to teleport around, because the teleportation is really messing Zenon up, and it's really making YUNO the victor of this fight. But Zenon is taking away the only place that he can teleport. YUNO says that he can't restore the stars right away, so it kind of makes him limited as of right now, and it makes him limited in the fight that he can't restore the stars like completely right away, but still kind of broken. But broken is an understatement. YUNO is versing probably the strongest person that they face in the Spade Kingdom, if you want to count, Fuse, Nama and Lilith, or Magicula. But Zenon right now is on a whole different playing field, in my opinion. I think that he's stronger than both Magicula and the Fuse, Lilith, and Nama, but hey, that's just me. And I think that YUNO is facing the toughest opponent, so he's going to need some hacks, he's going to need some power-ups. We finally get a flashback with Zenon, the Force of Sagradas sibling, and the Force of Sagradas sibling tells Zenon that the weak easily die, it's impossible to protect them all, so let's instead destroy them at once, and then reborn them in undying bodies. This ties into chapter 278, where the chapter title was called Undying Bodies. The Force of Sagradas sibling then says, us four siblings with the devil's power and our magic, we can rebuild mankind. And it's all for the benefit of the Spade Kingdom. Now, obviously, I actually do think that Julius might be the Force of Sagradas sibling, because, let's be honest, Vonica did not get the Time Devil, and it must have been the Force of Sagradas sibling, and Julius does have time magic in a coverless grimoire, so it makes him kind of suspicious and sus. Julius can obviously transform into other people, which, again, he's done in early Black Clover, and we already know that. And not only that, this could possibly tie into the Undying Bodies in remaking humanity, because Vonica with blood magic, Zenon with bone magic, Dante with body magic, and what about, Julius? Julius with morphing magic? That could be his main magic, but he mostly uses, the Time Devil's magic. Now, obviously, this theory could be completely wrong, it could be completely somebody different, but all the evidence points to Julius, because it ties into the, remaking humanity and the Undying Bodies. They have everything, and it includes Julius. And Julius with black hair kind of does look like Zenon in a way. But let's get back to the chapter. I don't want to, stress on the whole Julius being the Force of Sagradas sibling or Julius being evil, because I can make a whole different video about that. The Force of Sagradas sibling then says, let's create a kingdom with true happiness and true peace. And let's do it with no citizens having to die and living happy. Now, the Force of Sagradas siblings' whole ideology is killing off the weak, opening up the gates, and with their powers as, devil host, and the powers that they have, they can make undying bodies for them so they can live with happiness and be immortal. So it seems justifiable. It seems like a nice way for the Force of Sagradas siblings, even though we cannot protect the weak, we can give them undying bodies, which would keep them alive forever, and they would never die, and they would be happy. But it's a sick and twisted ideology that was planted into Zenon. YUNO is now dodging, weaving the bones, trying to get away, and he decides to use his trump card, which is Spirit of Boris. And Zenon then recollects and says, I erased all of his stars. He has no way of piercing the devil's heart. It's no longer possible for him to even win. So this time it is truly over. Logically, Zenon had a point. YUNO had nothing that could pierce the devil's heart, and all his stars are destroyed. So this would be a GG for Zenon, but Zenon forgot one thing. This is a shonen, and this is Black Clover, and the main character will always find a way to strive and win. And oh, did YUNO find a way to achieve greatness and win the fight? YUNO has achieved Saint Stage. When he resonated with his spirit, it's near 100%, and him constantly fighting at the verge of death, YUNO has achieved this state, which is Saint Stage, which can pierce a devil's heart. Now, I've been seeing people say this is an asshole. In my opinion, I do think that I'm going to wait until the officials and see if my opinions have changed, because I don't really care if YUNO has this. It makes sense because he's going to need to pierce the devil's heart somehow. So I'm kind of happy he has this because I am a YUNO fan through and through, so I don't really care. In my opinion, I can get some people's criticism and think it's an asshole, but hey, it's just me. I'm going to enjoy what I'm going to enjoy, and you enjoy what you're going to enjoy. ZENON again says to himself, when faced with overwhelming power, everything is meaningless, with a devilish smile, saying, "This is my victory." But the difference between YUNO and ZENON is ZENON's always been alone. He's always been relying on himself, but YUNO prides himself. He keeps notice that there are people out there who love him, who will always be by his side, like the Golden Dawn. And this time, he doesn't say this is his victory. This is not his own victory. This is our victory. Using Saint Spirit of Zephyr to slice ZENON in half, and it looks like ZENON will be down for the count, but that's where the chapter ends. And I gotta say, that's what separates YUNO from ZENON. ZENON has always been alone after he killed Alan, falling into despair and falling into, the twisted ideology that he was basically implanted in him by his older brother. While YUNO never lost faith in Asta, never lost faith in his comrades. And ZENON went down a dark path, while YUNO stayed in the light, and that's what separates them from each other. YUNO is the light, while ZENON is the darkness. Now, if this is the end of ZENON, then damn, it's been a complete ride with him. I've been saying that he's the best Zagras sibling, but seeing him gone, before Dante and Veronica, because they're not actually dead, and it's kind of sad. I hope tomorrow, gives him a, conclusion, a fine one, where he realizes that, yeah, some of the choices that YUNO made was correct, and ZENON was wrong, and I hope, I hope there's some closure to him. I hope that he doesn't, curse YUNO and hate him forever, but I hope that he finds out that the things that he made, the choices that he made, were wrong. I gotta give this chapter a 10 out of 10, because Tobias has been doing nothing but 10 out of 10s with this whole fight. There's no misses, in my opinion. Now, if you guys did enjoy this video and want to see more chapter reviews or Black Clover content in general, well, you come to the right place. And make sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification to stay notified whenever I upload, and hit that like button, and comment down below what's your favorite part of this chapter. Well, it's been the Red Cloak. I'm headed out of here, guys. Peace out. I'm out, guys. Peace. Have a great rest of the day, and enjoy yourself and stay safe.